Hello.
Hey, you.
Oh, it is you. Hey, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me turn this on. Boom.
How are you?
Good. Oh, you know what? That's
Yeah.
much
Good.
better.
Hang on. My headphones in.
I have to pull up. Hold on one second before we get
Yep.
too distracted. I gotta find.
Do your thing. I just thought I'd come early because I figured you might be here. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna just run and refill my coffee
Oh,
while
here
you
it
do
is.
that. Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, there we go. Dun, dun, dun. Hi. How are you? How are you doing?
Good. I'm cold.
Yeah.
It's cold today.
Yeah. So where are you? I know you're.
Victoria. Sorry, not Victoria. Surrey, BC.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it won't be cold in the afternoon. It's like yesterday was 20. Like it's really nice. It's just in the
Yeah.
morning it's cold.
So come
And
back to Ontario. It's freezing here.
yeah, I'm not complaining. I saw the snow. It's not snowing here. It's actually really
Yeah.
nice. Like the first week we got here, it rained every day, all day, every day.
Yeah.
Um, and then so that broke finally like 2 weeks ago,
Oh, good.
I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been really enjoying the no rain. I got
Yeah, for
this.
sure.
We got this new routine where so I run every day, but I don't like running in public because I
I
feel like
know it's so weird right now.
when I well yeah I feel like I'm weirding other people out because my
Mm-hmm.
when I run by a person I'm pretty sure there's a gust of wind and
Yes.
they're like holding their breath and just
Yeah.
thinking bad.
Yeah.
So I stopped running in public and where we're staying it's like private property,
Okay.
so I can run here no problem, and it's um like laneways, and if
Yep.
somebody is in the lane I'll just turn around and go the other way so I don't pass anybody. I just
Nice.
and I've been doing that, and I don't know why but I had the idea. I'm like, hey Beck, you're not doing anything, let's just take the dog to the farthest corner of the property is like a big patch of green grass.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'll just bring all my weight equipment there, and
Yep.
I'll exercise and you just like play with the dog or whatever. And we've been doing that every day for basically 2 weeks. And it's
Good.
the best routine, man.
Nice.
Love it.
You
Yeah.
got
The
to
dog
find
is
these
loving
like routines. Yeah, he's loving it, eh? Or it's she. It's a she, right?
the dog is a boy.
Oh, he is a boy. Why did I think you had a girl?
Kevin. Kevin Parker.
Yes. Now I recall.
Our older dog was a girl, Molly.
Mm.
Oh, actually,
Mm-hmm. Hey, Elma.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Do you have your coffee? We can coffee cheers again. Oh, beautiful. Be still
Yeah.
my Canadian heart.
Yes. And see how big it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I said that
nice.
to Dan when I first walked in. I was like, just hang on 1 second. I need to go get another cup. Huh.
Candido, I see you.
Good morning.
Is
That's
that Molly,
Molly.
Dan?
Yeah, it's stained glass.
Oh, that's so cool.
And a realtor made it for me when my dog passed away.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that was Molly.
Bless.
Or that is Molly.
Somebody has a professional microphone.
Yes. Gonna learn all about it today, maybe.
Learn about what? I missed that part.
He said somebody has a professional microphone.
Oh, yeah. Actually, so it is kind of professional. It's the best budget microphone you can get. It's this $40 microphone beats the Blue Yeti, which people are paying like $200 for.
Yeah. That's super
Yeah.
expensive.
$40.
Love it.
It's if he wants to know, SAMSON, Samsung. So if you go to YouTube and type in Samsung mic, it's about $40.
Oh, nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, we're super happy to have you here this morning.
Oh, Candido! I didn't even know it was
Hey,
you.
it's me.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. I
No,
know
I have
names.
I have the ones they put on your sleeve, so I'm good for now.
You have what?
I have the ones that I bought on Amazon that you use for interviews.
Oh, yeah, the iRig.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Nice.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. So we got 4 minutes to go before people.
Yeah, we always we're like to give like just a couple of minutes afterwards. That seems to typically be when the majority of people actually chime in.
I'm gonna put it on. I hope this doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, I can't hear you. Okay, I'll be back. Hold on.
Okay. I like it when everybody puts their video on. It's more fun.
It is nice to see people, yes.
Mm-hmm. Like faces.
Yes.
Yeah, it's lovely. Wow. Huh, okay.
I might need your help later with some of the
Yeah.
COVID-19 forms.
For sure.
I'll go through it. If I do, I'll call you.
You've got my number. It hasn't changed.
You sure?
Right?
I didn't change it yet.
Yes.
I almost wanted to change it. I was laying in bed the other night. I go to bed relatively early. You guys know that. It was like 10:30 and my phone's like, zzz, 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 and I look up and it's like a bunch of agents. And I was like, it's 10:30. I refuse to answer.
There's no emergencies in this time right now.
Well, and that's, I try to answer or call back as quickly as possible, but like, I'm also tired, like.
Jen, I had a boss that used to tell me, your lack of planning is not an emergency.
Mm-hmm. You read my mind, my friend. Yeah. How are you doing, Candido? It's nice to see your face.
I'm good. I'm a math teacher now.
Oh, nice. That's fun.
For grade 2.
For grade 2. Ooh.
Yeah. In English and no science yet. So.
Oh, I always like
I read a
Can't
post
wait to
about
do this door.
this pandemic turning, and I'm not going to do it any justice, but you'll get the gist of it, turning parents into teachers and alcoholics. And not necessarily in that same order.
Yeah, exactly. I
Actually, I saw a post.
Yep.
Sorry,
go ahead. No, you go.
I saw a post on Facebook that the kids say, "Mom, my other teacher doesn't drink."
Very true. On the job. I saw a warning on, I watch breakfast television in the morning, and I'm trying to just limit my news for obvious reasons, right? But I'll still chime in for like 10 minutes. And the warning that I saw was scientists or whoever says you should not be drinking during quarantine. And I was like, why didn't they tell us that 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, we should do a lot of things. No comments.
Mm-hmm. I wholeheartedly agree. You refilling your tea, Dan?
I don't know if that actually worked. I don't think that was hot enough.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Who's Indian Prodigy?
Yes.
No, so I quit coffee and tea and
I remember.
energy drinks and alcohol and everything. But the only thing that crept back into my life was the coffee part. And
It's so good.
yeah, except for so I made a rule where I have one coffee a week on a Friday. And today's Friday, so I thought
Perfect.
bust it out.
I'm so glad I got to be here to see your one coffee a week.
Well, I got inspired by her Tim Hortons cup, although she disappeared.
Alma.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that worked.
Sorry, there you go. I'm back. Cheers, Dan.
Hey. What's up, buddy? I like the background. No name video conference.
Dan.
That's dope.
I got some
Hey.
for you guys.
Rebecca, good morning.
Good morning, how are you, Alma?
Good morning. It's Friday.
It is. We're twinning too.
Ah,
I haven't had a Tim Hortons in like 4 weeks. I know, I'm missing it.
Yeah.
The small
classic.
things.
I didn't know you could do video backgrounds too. That's cool.
Yeah, I think you have to update to the newest version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any video works actually.
I
Oh,
can't.
that's
I
cool.
can't get it on mine. Although I'll be honest, I haven't really spent a lot of time to try. But I looked for a millisecond.
When you go for like right where it says stop video, the little arrow pointing up, it doesn't show up there under video setting.
No.
Oh.
Oh yeah, choose virtual background.
Yeah,
But
there we
because
go.
so we're both signed into the Remax Ultimate account right now. If I change, will yours change?
No, I don't think so. It's per session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if that was the case, then you would have this, no?
Yeah.
I'll give it a try. I
Just a
am
little
doubling
plug as
down.
well.
I am
Head
doubling
office
down
has
on the
created
backgrounds.
Remax branded backgrounds.
Yes.
Oh, that's a really good idea. You guys
It is.
should release it for your agents.
Yes, please.
See, to use a virtual background without a green screen, I have to update my OS.
And
I
since
don't-
we're at it, I got a little hack for you.
Yes. Who doesn't love a good hack? Is there a way, hey Jeff. Dan, y'all, not Wood, sorry. Is there a way, I guess only in the web, if we were doing this via webinar, to make sure that Danny had the big screen for everyone? We can't, right? In a meeting room? I think you can only do that in a webinar.
No, I think you can do that here. It's in the
Oh, what's
it's
up,
in the
Jeff?
Settings.
It's
I think it's in
video
the
view, Danny.
settings of the meeting. Yeah.
So Jen, it's per user. What you have to do is hover over Dan's video icon and click the pin button. And that will make sure that he remains being your big video.
Yeah, but it won't be big video for everybody.
No, you can do that. Are you hosting it or is Dan hosting it?
We're hosting it. We
No,
are.
Okay. So look at the hosting panel.
Just
There are some permissions. I can see it because I'm not like you're doing it. There's some permissions that allow you to master those settings for everybody.
okay.
Can I say one thing?
Mm-hmm.
Dan's place looks so cool. It's like a model home.
No, it's a green screen, buddy. This is
Is
green
it?
screen. Yeah, I just downloaded it. I searched kitchens on Google.
Right. Oh, that's awesome.
No,
like
it's
a-
not.
It's like an episode of Arrested Development. You just live in the
Mine's going to
middle.
be a green screen of a brisket being smoked.
Well, do it.
I got to figure out how. Hey, Rebecca, I need your help.
So this little contraption is probably the best Zoom hack that you guys will find. It's literally a selfie stick, so just whatever you got, right?
Mm.
And then I attach an LED light on it, and I don't need it because I'm actually got a real light for you guys. But like, if I didn't, I could just turn it on and obviously dim it down a bit, and it really helps with just your shadows on your face while you're meeting your colleagues. It's like you probably already got the light and you probably already got a selfie stick,
Mhm.
and then I would just put it behind the computer like this. Nobody would know, and just turn it on. I have a bigger one right there, so I'm not using this.
What's that thing
Super
called?
smart.
So this little light, it's called the Aperture ALM9. Aperture ALM9. I've spent at least $1,000, closer to $2,000 on lights in my past, and this is the most used light out of all of them, bar none. It's the smallest, most portable, cheapest one, and it works. It's good.
I think that's the one that you brought when you did a presentation at our St. Clair office in the last fall, maybe?
Yep. Yeah, probably. It'd be the one I carry around for sure. It's it's the size of a credit card.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, I got a background for you.
Oh yeah, baby. Love it. How do I download it?
Like, how do I make that work? Should we just give it a couple of more minutes?
Can I show you my background that's real? Bacon.
Oh, I'm actually really jealous.
My wife is awesome. She made breakfast for
I'm
me so I
hungry.
can sit here and learn.
Yeah. That hack would really help me, Dan. Look at how dark my face is right now. I just have overhead.
Yeah,
it's just overhead white, like pure white.
And with the hat and the lights are always above, it casts, and it's just like it would be right underneath. And so when I turned it on for you guys just now, it was on full power. I would have dumbed it down to like the lowest setting, and that's all you need.
Right.
Wow. Even for this big schnoz,
yes.
Wouldn't have to.
Well, you can get two. You can get the 2-pack for that one. Dude.
From both sides.
It comes in a 3-pack.
Yeah, because I realize if I go lower, it accentuates it. From upper, forget about it.
That's why that selfie stick, you can adjust the height. So you want it dead on.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Wow, we got a bunch of people on. I did a webinar yesterday. We had like almost 100 people on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was that the one with David Greenspan? Or was that last week?
I don't know what that one was about. I did COVID. One of my buddies, he did 12 listings last week from his kitchen. He never left his house.
Wow.
Who was that?
Mike McDougall. He's an awesome guy. He's
in
really
Durham?
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's with KW, right?
Yeah, he is. And yeah, we were just chatting about like, he's not working with any buyers. So anybody who wants to be a buyer, he's like, nope, not working with you. And he's only doing listings right now. And he did 12 last week.
And no in-person meetings?
He's never left his kitchen.
Okay, I might reach out to him.
I recorded
him speak at a, oh, did you? Maybe we can get a recording.
Well, as long as they don't, we never brought up what company he was at because I wanted to keep it brand neutral. So
yeah,
you guys can have it.
I think we're in a space where, I'd like to learn from anybody who's doing that successfully, right?
Yeah.
And being super safe. Yeah. I saw him speak at an event last fall. He was on a mega team panel event, and I really liked him. And I've been following now on Instagram.
He's a really humble, like genuine guy. And I mean, he'll personally take 80 or 90 listings himself a year, which is pretty intense. Yeah. And they're not
very intense,
low average price points either.
Okay, Dan, I think that we can go ahead and get started. It's 10 after. Got a few people here. So I don't really think that you need any introduction. We know you, we love you, and we're super happy that you're taking your time this morning to chat with us. So take it away, my friend.
Okay, I will. So my name, for some people might not know, my name is Danny Wood, and I always wear my branded Dan shirt. I got like 12 of them, depending on what company I'm with. I change the color, although I went with purple today. So today I want to cover two different things. I want to stop video, and then I'm going to share my screen.
The runway model.
There we go. Okay, cool. So you guys can see my screen, I'm hoping? Right on. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to share with you guys my struggle behind using video, and then we're going to have an open discussion about that. And then we'll roll into working your database remotely. So let me go into this and hit play. And I really hope you can hear it.
Yep.
Hey, it's Danny Wood here. My place is a mess. I'm just setting up to do a little shoot for you guys to show you how you can leverage Google to specifically target people as they're about to make a purchase. So if they're going to make a move, if they're going to buy a home, if you want to sell them shoes, sneakers, cars, whatever it is, I want to show you how to leverage the banner network, and specifically when people are in the market for that product and service. All right, let's go. Google knows who's about to buy a home, purchasing a used car, and if that person's getting a new iWatch. Did you know that we as advertisers can actually target those people as they enter the market just before they buy that product or service? That's what I'm going to show you today. Take real estate, for example. Moving soon and purchasing a home soon are both options that we can now target. This works for most industries and products, whether you're selling shoes or selling insurance. But I want to stick with real estate to tell about. Hold on a second. Hold up. So on my end, I can't hear it for some reason. And as I couldn't hear it, I realized that it was playing the banner video. And you guys are like, this isn't about video at all. Okay, I want to hit play on this one. I was like, that's not the setting. What the hell am I talking about? And I couldn't hear what I was talking about until I saw the screen. Okay, so this one is about the struggle of video, which is more important. I wouldn't be running advertising. So that's the thing. A lot of people ask me about advertising right now, and I have a lot of clients who do advertising through me. And I even sent a proactive email to everybody saying, maybe you want to cut back on your cold internet lead generation and focus more on your database and referral marketing. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of like shot myself in the foot on purpose. And so anyways, I don't suggest you guys do cold internet lead generation. If anything, you should be really working on your social media content and building mind share and working with your database. So this video right here and play. There we go.
Not playing, Dan.
Really? It is on my screen.
Mine only sees your very handsome face.
Same here.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to close this and I'll reopen it.
I just have to reshare your screen.
Oh, okay. Could you hear it then?
No.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. We're good. So share computer screen, share screen.
There we go. So that's, yeah. There we go.
All right. Hey, what's up? It's Danny here. I'm going to try something totally new. I just heard fireworks go off in the background. It's the new year, and I have a pretty cool setting. You can hear it's a prison, an old prison, and it goes with the theme of today's video, which is going to be about feeling trapped. My example of failing started with this vlog, but your example can be totally different, whether it's losing weight or trying something new or anything in general. We've all failed. So if you've ever been on that fail train, you'll totally appreciate where I'm coming from. When I failed with my vlog, there was 3 primary things that did that to me. The first one was the gear and the process. So I overcomplicated all the gear that I needed, and the process to actually edit the video and stitch it all together is just like really paralyzed me. Nothing ever felt natural and candid. It was very scripted, robotic, and just shit. Is basically what I ended up thinking. Speaking of the script, I could never memorize a script, so I tried so many different things where I would put bullet points and tape it onto the tripod underneath the camera, but you could see me looking down and not looking into the camera. And then other things I tried was actually writing up a script and using a teleprompter. That one actually works really good, but the problem with it was my videos turned out to be just me talking into the camera, and nobody wants to see that. And so me doing a talking head video just wasn't going to cut it for today's modern world. We just don't have the attention span for that. So the teleprompter idea is awesome, except for boring. Now, whatever your project is that you're working on that you keep failing at, a lot of times we let stuff get in the way. So my example here is I'm looking at a GoPro. I actually love the GoPro. I think everybody should have one. However, we all experience it where you buy something brand new thinking it's going to solve your problem, and you take it out of the box and you shoot your first little shot, or you do whatever you do with it. And it's just like not what you expected. Everybody else made it look so much better than how you are doing it. And it's kind of embarrassing. When I see all the other footage that people are capturing with it, the clarity of the audio, the crispness of the scene, just like the whole cinematic sequence, and then I get it and it's just like, terrible. So the process or the end result is never what you expected. I mean, especially when you compare yourself to different people. So I just threw up 3 people on the screen here. There's Casey, Peter, and Jesse. And these are 3 guys that I really, really, really look up to. And the problem with me looking up to these guys is that I pale in comparison. I never cut it. When I look at the quality of the work that they do, these are 3 YouTubers. But it doesn't matter if it's 3 YouTubers that you are inspired by, or if it's like a star that you look up to, an industry leader, or a colleague down the hallway. What ends up happening is we get so distracted and blinded by the polish and the fake social world that we live in that we expect what we do to be the exact same results as what they do. And if it's not even close, we're just kind of depressed and sad with ourselves. And I definitely found myself in that boat because I just never found my groove. So I got this video up here and it's showing behind the scenes. So a lot of the people that are ahead of you, there's usually a team behind them. And that team has a collective experience, whether it be like 20 years in that industry or 10 years or 15 or 30. And you're trying it for the first time, you have a collective experience of 0. We always forget this, and when I'm trying to do self-filming like I am now, and then I'm going to go home and I'm going to edit this little video, I have to realize I don't have the army which is flying by right now. There's literally an air base, and that's an army helicopter. So the army is flying away without me, and I'm standing here by myself doing it. So it's easy for them to look all high on their horse when they got a crew of people that can make them look good in any light. And then here we are over in the corner, if anybody can relate. You're like a horse, just a toy horse, walking in circles, and people are just walking by. They're not even like offering to help us, right? So my problem initially started with the fact that on YouTube, I'm over 500 videos right now, which is awesome. That's not the problem. I got about 300 that are public and 200 that are private. Now, there's an algorithm that YouTube really looks at, and it's called audience retention. That's the playthrough rate. So if it was a 60-second video, what's the percentage of time people will stick through? Is it 10 seconds, 40, 60? Obviously, the higher the better. Now, my problem with this audience retention is that I have really long format videos. They're like 40 minutes to 60 minutes, and ideally on YouTube, it should be more like 3 minutes to 12 minutes. And so that's a huge problem for me. And because of that, YouTube is going to be penalizing my videos organically when people do searching. So I thought to fix this problem would be to just make shorter format videos, 3-minute to 8-minute videos. So what I could do is take all of my old format videos, repurpose them into fresh content. So I thought I'd flip the switch and create my own lane. I mean, I kept trying to compare myself to other vloggers and compare myself to other people that are doing things that just aren't my strengths and skill sets. So I thought, why can't I just create my own lane? One thing I've discovered in my public speaking endeavors, when I'm on stage and I'm doing a presentation, the presentation that everybody is looking at actually isn't for them. The presentation is for me. It's a visual reference and a visual cue as to what I should be saying and keeping me on track for my story. So why can't I do the same thing where I just use my phone to tell a little story for you? So I'm using Keynote right now. Keynote is an awesome tool. It allows you to create presentations directly on your phone. So everything that you've seen in this video so far, I made on Keynote. All the animations of the text, all the actual videos that you're watching, it's just playing on Keynote, and I'm recording my screen as I talk to you. What's really awesome about this little format, I feel, it gives me an organic script. I'm not reading something word for word and feeling like a robot and unnatural. It allows me to just tell my story and kind of bounce around, but stay in the lane. It also gives me the B-roll overlay footage for you so that it breaks up the monotony of being so boring, just staring at my face the whole time that I talk. And then also the cool thing about Keynote is that you can do it in portrait mode. So I can create this presentation the size of my phone, and then therefore I can upload it to things like Instagram stories and Facebook stories, and even Facebook and YouTube now allow you to upload in portrait mode, and when a person watches that, it takes up the whole screen. Basically storytelling on the go. This is going to be my new format, and I want to know, like, if you stumble, will you make it part of the dance? Because I've literally been stumbling for years. I just stumbled on that word. And I've been stumbling for years. Like, literally, I bought my Sony DSLR camera like 3 or 4 years ago to make a vlog. And then I was going to do another vlog of me doing adventures and having fun. And it just took the fun out of the fun by having to create all this content. It's just not why I wanted to do it. Now I have a real reason. My YouTube channel, the numbers are going to start to go down because of that audience retention rate, and people just don't care for long format videos. So part of my stumbling enabled me to fail forward and find a solution that I think will work. I don't know anybody else who's doing these type of videos where they're using a presentation on their phone to keep them on track, but I think you could do it as well. Let me share a couple ideas with you. Monthly videos. So if you were a real estate agent, you could create a presentation on your phone for the market stats of what's happened in your market, property types, that sort of thing. And then it could be a monthly video that you do, and it only takes like a minute or 2 minutes to make. A product or service highlight video. So I could easily create, if I was in the car industry and a new car comes out, just like even in real estate as well, kind of like going through a presentation talking about all the highlights, and you're like flipping the page of the magazine or flipping the page of the brochure or flipping through the listing photos of that property, and you're just kind of talking about them. About you, all real estate agents and all people in business should have an about you, about the team, and or about the company. And so maybe you could start off with making that as your video. And then the client process. So a lot of the videos that I make, I intend on repurposing for multiple reasons. I never make a video just for uploading a video's sake. I always have a reason for it. Many times it's either for a landing page or for like a follow-up sequence to educate a person as to why they should maybe enroll in that product or service. Hopefully I just gave you a couple ideas. I don't know, I'm just kind of, oh, time's up, they're shooting the cannons. So we're standing out front of the prison here. Hopefully you don't feel trapped. Hopefully you fail forward. And on to the next vlog. I'll pause it there because that's kind of like a pitch to join something. So you can see how comfortable. Oh, let me stop sharing my screen. I'll turn my camera on. Camera. Yeah. So you can see how comfortable and natural I was just by like using that as the script. So I basically made a PowerPoint on my phone. And the problem with video is like you need a crew to like create all this content. You put like a day's worth of work into it or more, and then you get like 39 views. It's like, what the heck, man? People keep telling me to use video, but I'm not getting anything from it. And so you don't have to make a video as long as that. What if you just did like a keynote presentation about your listing and you just like flip through the listing as you talk about it? It's, of all the video types of projects I've done, this style is blowing it out of the water for me as far as engagement. Instagram TV, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, God.
Yep.
Instagram TV, like really is so my following, if you want to call it that, would be Facebook. I get more engagement. If I post something on Facebook, I can kind of rely on, say, getting like 50 comments or 100 comments or something like that. And on Instagram, it's like 3 comments. Like I don't have any engagement on Instagram for some reason. However, if I post a video on Facebook and I post a video on Instagram, I get way more engagement from Instagram. And it's like, that's bonkers. So Instagram is really, really, really pushing Instagram TV. So 1, you should be getting your videos on Instagram TV. 2, if you're having a hard time with creating video content, I gave Mike an awesome idea on our webinar yesterday. There's a program called Loom, Loom, and it allows you to record your computer screen. So I said to him, why don't you just take your listings? He's got 12 listings or whatever. I said, you go through the virtual tour of that and record your screen while you're walking through the property and just talk about it. Be like, hey, we're in the kitchen and I just want to point out the cabinet over here and the flooring over here and the look out the window. And you just walk through and it gives like picture in picture. So it's recording the screen as you're walking through or just flipping through the photos. And now you have a video of you talking about that property. It's like a guided tour that the people can go through. It builds that face-to-face rapport, and you can get it done and created in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Like that would be the easiest way for you guys to start pushing video content. The structure of me like doing a keynote on my phone, it has a couple extra steps. I basically need 2 videos. The one on the tripod is the camera that's like recording me talking, looking into it. And then the other one is the keynote is on my phone and I'm recording my screen. So it gives me 2 videos and then I stitch them together. It takes extra work.
What did you use to stitch them together, if you don't mind?
No, absolutely. So I spent last Christmas, I spent probably $1,000 on different editing software. I bought them all so that I could find which was the best one for realtors on the go. And the best one was $30, believe it or not. And it's Luma Fusion, but it's only for iPhone and iPad. So if you're an Android user, I don't know, get an iPhone. No, I'm just kidding. So Luma Fusion is the best editing app. All my videos are edited on my phone or iPad. So that video you just watched was 100% shot and edited on my phone. Everything you saw, the animations, the 2 videos stitched together. So Luma Fusion is the answer if you're iOS. If you're not iOS, Adobe Rush could be a possibility. I think you have to pay monthly for it, and it's not even as good. So if you are iOS, then the only option is Luma Fusion. Like it beats everything except for maybe Adobe Premiere on a computer.
And so Dan, the bottom half of that video, that was all done in Keynote?
Yep.
That's just a Keynote presentation.
Yep. And so the keynote was on my phone in my hand in that video. And I recorded my screen and I was just like, and because it recorded my screen, it recorded my voice. So I was able to sync the 2 up. And I did that video in 1 take.
Did you use Loom to record your screen on your phone?
No, your iPhone has a screen recorder built right in, and I'm assuming all Androids do now as well.
They do.
Yeah. Yep. So just Google search whatever type of phone you have. So iPhone record screen or Android record screen, and it will show you how to do it. Yeah. So that gave me two files. The Loom option is if you just want to record your computer screen. Yeah. And I think like that keynote, you could make a keynote or a presentation. You don't even have to use Keynote. You could use PowerPoint if you're Android. And anyways, make like a template for market stats as like a monthly report. And once you have the template done, all you have to do is change the numbers every month. And then you just flip through it. Blowing it out of the water. Like the numbers I'm getting now is crazy. So I had a real challenge with my YouTube channel, and that was the numbers were going down, and I'm like, this is crazy. Why would the numbers be going down? Because I keep getting more people subscribed, so the viewers should be going up. And it's because YouTube has an algorithm. Their number 1 factor that they look at is playthrough rate. So and Facebook does this too. So if you have a 2-minute video, do they watch 30 seconds, a minute, or 2 minutes? And my percentage on YouTube was dropping down to like 18, 20% playthrough rate. And that's because my videos were 40 to 60 minutes long. Of course, nobody's going to make it all the way through. So I started cutting it back to as short a video as possible. So for me, the shortest I can do apparently is like 8 to 12 minutes, because otherwise I can't get the value in. But for you guys as real estate, it's not like you're trying to educate and train people. So you can do a minute. I would aim for at least a minute for your video.
Mhm.
because then you can add it to Instagram TV. It has to be a minute long. So I'd say a minute to 2 minutes is like the sweet spot.
One question.
Please, I want the questions.
So on my website /CRM, it has a bit of AI built into it. So as soon as someone signs up, there's a program that automatically sends them a message and then it follows up.
Yep.
So I believe there's an opportunity to put video in there.
Oh yeah.
How long should the intro video be for them? Should it be 30 seconds, a minute 30?
Yeah. So I have a, let me back up for a second. So I'm going to leave you guys. I'll be right back. I'm going to pull up a link for you. It is here. I actually have a 7-touch follow-up plan based on video for your internet leads as an example. And I'm going to give you guys that. So let me get it for you. And I'll put it in the notes. Yeah, here it is. So Jen, I'm going to put it in the notes and make sure to copy it and grab it so that people can get it after because when you close Zoom, the comments disappear.
My biggest pet peeve. I wish we could save those.
You can, but you have to do it before you close it.
You have to copy and paste, right?
And yeah, that's one way. There, you can download it too.
Hey Dan, can you do like a 25-second video for me just to justify to my wife that I can buy an iPhone 11 Pro?
Yeah, I can. I 100% can. Yes. So the iPhone 11 Pro camera is amazing. Here's another tip. Okay. So most of you use the camera that's on like facing you and you can see yourself in the screen. All my videos, I'm shooting with the back camera. I don't need to see myself on the screen whatsoever. And if I took a selfie and then if I took a picture like this and compared the two, it will blow your mind of how much better quality this camera is. And so the iPhone does an amazing job at it. And hold on.
There you go, Jeff. Hopefully that will work for you.
He's the best.
Agreed.
My wife's still going to cut me, but whatever. Like physically with a knife. Like she'll shiv me. I don't know.
So all of the newer phones have a wide angle camera built in. I bought this clip-on wide angle and I put it on the regular lens because if you use the wide angle lens that's built into your camera, it's got basically a smaller hole. So it lets in less light and then it makes everything grainy and pixelated along the edges. But because I'm using the best lens, and then I clip on the wide angle, I get the best of both worlds. So look at doing these. Moment is like the industry leader for making these things. And I found like a Chinese knockoff. So it was either $140 or $40. So I went for the $40 option and this is what I used. But definitely do all your video with the back camera, not the one with the screen. Because I'm telling you, you don't need to see yourself. You just get a better quality image by using the back camera, for sure.
Love it.
Yeah. So yes, I can definitely convince her to get you the iPhone 11 Pro. I want commission somehow.
Absolutely.
Just kidding. Will that work on it'll work on any camera. So that's the beauty of this lens is that it will work on any camera, Android, anything. It's just literally like a clip-on. So as long as your camera isn't any wider than that, it would even work on my iPad. Yeah. Not that you have to buy more stuff to start making video. That's one of my fears is like people are like, oh, I can't start making video till I buy that light that Danny showed me. And oh, I need to order this lens. Just start making the video and just get better as you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. A lot of people myself included, when I very first started, got stuck up on like what equipment, right? And really you don't need anything to start, especially in like social media world that we're in right now, right?
Well, if I look back at my YouTube channel, I think my YouTube channel started around 2008 or 9 or something. anyways, I really started pushing video in 2011 or 12 is when I really saw the value in it. And if I look back at all of those videos, I wasn't on the camera in any of them. They were all me recording my screen. So if you
I
just
remember
really,
that.
if you really want to just start leveraging video, just start recording your screen, because you don't have to wear pants in it. You can just record your screen and the content is there. So I would make videos like, what are the types of videos you should make? Anything that you can repurpose, like, and use over and over and over again. So think of like your buyer landing page, think of your house value page. Those would be the first two videos I would tell you to make. And then when a person does register on your website or become a lead, do they get an email follow-up? Well, that email should be a video. Either you thanking them for taking the action and what the next steps are, or introducing yourself and your team and how you guys work or whatever. And then those videos you can use for years going forward. So start with like the lowest hanging fruit. Instead of making a video that has a short shelf life, like that, the challenge with video right now in social media is like, if you post something today, you've got 24 to 48 hours of a window where people will see it, but then after that, it's dead in the water, right? So it's like, why create content that has a short shelf life when you can be creating content that you use over and over and over and over again? So I would be making my my videos based on my website of where do my leads come from. I'll make a video for those pages. And then when I do get leads, what follow-up plan do I have? And I would make my video based on the follow-up plan. So say you had a follow-up plan that had like 12 touches or 10 touches or 7 touches or whatever. I would look at each one of those emails and then make a video based on each one. And then you can use it for years to come. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So speaking of working with your database, I'm going to switch my camera off. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. Computer sound on, and then go to my PowerPoint. Okay, so this next one is going to be me giving you ideas on working your database for referrals. Hey, what's up? It's Danny Wood here. I'm going to do vlog number 2, which is going to be on relationship marketing. And a lot of real estate agents, they feel awkward when they're calling their database, and I can totally relate. I'll tell you why. One of my life's goals is to have joy with everything that I do. And if I don't have joy doing it, I don't want to do it, especially when it comes to work. Like, we're trading time for money. It's one of the most valuable things, time. And we're just wasting it on things that we don't like doing. So if it's not bringing me joy, I don't want to do it. And the joy totally was sucked out of me as soon as I got into the real estate business. I walked in the front door and they gave me a wadded up, crusty bunch of pieces of paper glued together. I think they call it a phone book. And they wanted me to go through such a book and cold call these people. I'm like, whoa, hold on, cowboy. I'm out in the middle of a desert, but that doesn't mean that's what I want to do. Anything else you can suggest for me? And they're like, yeah, we got a couple more brick walls for you. How about you bug your sphere of influence? I mean, call your sphere of influence. I'm pretty sure that's what they said. Yeah, I got to call my sphere of influence, my friends and family. Hey, Joey, it's Danny Wood here. I haven't talked to you in 20 years, but I got my real estate license now, and I'm really eager for that commission. How are the kids? It didn't sit well with me. I didn't want to do that. So I'm like, okay, what else you got? And they're like, well, how about you prospect complete strangers, like for sale by owners and inspireds? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not why I got into business. I don't feel good. I don't want to show up and do this sort of thing. And this is the truth. It's hard for you to be inspired when you feel like an ass. And if you don't have a good reason for why you're calling people, you feel like, and it wasn't until I discovered I needed a why that was bigger than me. Before, with all the other past sales training I was taking, it was all about business first, and it didn't sit well with me. So what I started doing was calling people for bigger reasons that was more about them than it was for me. I came up with a 2-plan system. Plan A was the reason for the phone call. A stands for awesome. Anything that was fun, positive, and share-worthy, that's why I was calling them. Plan B was business, and I would pepper that in the conversation when, if, and where it felt fitting. So I never forced the business conversation, I just let it flow. Let me show you a couple examples. You should gather a couple agents from your office and do a yearly clothing drive. It's something you can all add to your marketing calendar as a yearly event. You'll be able to reconnect with everybody in your database with a positive touch point. It's easy. You just call them up and say, hey, we're doing a clothing drive. I'll swing by and pick it up. Would you participate? Just put it in the bag. A lot of people will say, yeah. And now what's happening is you get a face-to-face conversation because you're going to swing by and see them. You're updating your database with their mailing address and their home address, which is key for a real estate agent to have. And it's something you can do even quarterly if you wanted, but at least yearly. Do it as a group. You'll get positive press release. You can have a blog, social media, and a whole bunch of stuff out of it. Above and beyond just you connecting with people on a positive level. Now, we've all gone through these calling programs and coaching programs where they have us burn through our database for the first time, and it's a blitz and you're like taking selfies of you doing it, and that's great. However, if you ask most agents 3 months later if they're still doing it, they aren't. Most aren't. And the reason for that is because the second, third, and fourth phone call, you run out of ideas. Now, remember I said everything I do is all about joy and it's inside me? Well, on a quarterly basis, I would set something in the future that was fun and totally random and experiential, like a Segway tour or a fishing trip or poker, wine, beer tasting. Like, it doesn't matter. It was always experiential and fun. And that gave me another reason to connect with people. And it was always different. One time it might be a self-defense class. Another time it could be a CPR course. Or maybe it's a make and take where it's a seasonal thing and we all show up, make stuff, and then take it home based on that holiday. Be creative, but have something on your horizon at all time, because that's what makes it easier to pick up the phone and enroll people. Now, as a self-employed professional, you obviously know other self-employed professionals, and a lot of people in your database are going to be self-employed as well. So why don't you do a share and tell where everybody shows up at a restaurant or something, and they go a round table and talk about who they are and what they sell, like their product and service, and then they tell one example of how they generate business. That's going to create cross-pollination between other people in the room. So not only are you going to be the key player, the person in the center that organized the whole thing, but everybody else is going to get value from it, and maybe you can do it on like a quarterly basis, maybe even monthly if it gets big. Now, the whole time I'm calling people about my plan A, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking of plan B. When it's fitting, I'm going to slide in the business conversation depending on who the people are, and more importantly, depending how the conversation is currently going. If it's uplifting and I feel like they have time to talk a little bit longer, I'm going to go into plan B. So an example of plan B is the homeowners. If you know somebody who owns a home, which I hope you do, you can call through your database and let them know, hey, we got this nosy neighbor alert, and it will keep you updated on all the homes that hit the market just in your neighborhood. You'll see the pictures, the price, the home renovations, that sort of thing. It's free and it's easy. What's the best email? And now you're updating your database with homeowners, getting their email and their address so that you can let them know of what's happening directly in their neighborhood. It's free for you, it's free for them, it's relevant to them. If you are going to create a drip program, this is the first one that you should do, and it's absolutely free. A lot of people that you know are in business and or self-employed and into investing. Maybe, and if so, you could do a monthly tour looking at duplexes, triplexes, fix and flips, power sales, that sort of thing. And then I would create a smaller list of just the people in my database who are investors, and once a month we could meet up and do a little tour looking at property. The cool thing about investors is that they don't have any loyalty. And the reason why that's cool is because they don't have loyalty to the other agents either. So unless they're under contract, don't step on that. But most of the time it's just a relationship game, and you got to be the one that has the relationship with them. This is an easy touch for sure. The other thing is anybody who is an investor in your database, they have two homes, the one they live in and the one they rent out. You're in this game for another 5 years or 10 years, I hope, right? While that person is probably going to be buying or selling more property in the future. And this is a great touch. A lot of the people we speak to are tenants, and they're not a lost hope. If a person is a tenant, I would be like, hey, what's current rent go for where you're at? And they would tell me, oh, it's around $1,400 or $1,600 or $2,200. And then I would respond, well, that's crazy, because I actually have a list of homes for sale that you can own, and the monthly mortgage is the same as what you're paying in rent. Would you be interested in that? Now, I would only say that if it's true. I don't know what your market is. You might not be able to do that approach, but I can in my market, so hopefully you can in yours. Now, in the back of my mind, the whole time, I'm tuning in to one of these business-related reasons, and the list goes on. I just gave you 3. There's more pillars. Some of you do pre-construction. Some of you do military, specific property like cottages and waterfront and condos. anything. So have all these business pillars in the back of your mind, and then when you're having a conversation, just go with the flow and fit it in. It's more important to pick up the phone and be consistent with dialing than it is to like hammer them down to be a buyer right on the spot or a seller right on the spot. Now, if your office wants to set up an accountability group, just let me know. I can do that in-house. We can do it remotely. You can do it with the team or with the entire brokerage. So just reach out. If you don't want to pay me, you can just steal my ideas right here. Idea number one is that your agents should be calling 3 people a day. 3 a day, 3 a day, 3 a day. It's slow and steady. I'd rather a person call their database for the next 3 months than burn through their database in 1 month and then just never touch it again. See, you can't win a marathon if you don't know how to tie up your shoes. So 3 a day, you don't have to readjust your time blocking. It's easy. Just call 3 people and then move on. Idea number 2 is anybody that you're touching, you should be adding to your database with updated notes. So as much information as you can, their phone number, their email, their address, what you talked about. Now, of all the ideas, this next one is the most important. If anybody is important enough to be in your database, they're important enough to have a next call date. If you put somebody in your database and there isn't a next call date assigned, what's going to happen is 3 months goes by, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and now you're like, oh, my database sucks, it doesn't work. Well, it wasn't that, it's you weren't working it. So I like doing the manual approach where I'll manually add a next call date to a person, because if you try and automate this, your whole database gets out of whack. You'll know with your gut instinct, should I call this person in the year, should I call them in 6 months or next week? So you set the next call date, and that's the most important tip that I have of the day. So everything we've covered so far gives you 3 or 4 touches that's face-to-face that you can build and grow your database with people who know, like, and trust you, and it's not annoying. It's something you can do consistently, and I hope that you do. Anybody who's a coaching member of mine, I'm just going to pause that there, stop sharing my screen, turn on my camera. Now, you guys can hear me? Yes.
Yep.
So I'm going to take those ideas and make them, is my camera on? Yeah. Take those ideas and make them virtual. So obviously I don't want you doing events with people right now, because I mean, shame on you for going out in public and doing fun stuff. However, we can take ideas and make it more remote. So like, for example, when I gave you the idea of going through your database and calling all of the people that own a business and doing a local business networking where everybody shows up at a restaurant and does a share and tell of who they are, and they tell one way of how they generate business. Why don't you do it as a Zoom meeting? You could easily get like 10 people in your database on a call, create your own little mastermind BNI business networking group. But it's not about the 10 you got on a call, it's about the 50 that you called to touch base with. Right? So it's not, whenever I do events, it's not necessarily like how many people I get to show up. It's more about how many people did I get to contact. And it gives you that reason for contacting people. And especially in today's world, a lot of people that are self-employed in businesses and sales, like they have the downtime where they're not working in their business. They should be working on their business, and that goes for you as well. And so I definitely, because I love business, I would be contacting everybody in my database to do like our own little like business networking thing, and you be the host of it. The clothing drive could be an idea, where you contact your database and get them all to leave the clothes out on their front step, and then you swing by, pick it up and put it in a bag, and then throw the gloves in. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know if it's worth the risk, because COVID is a very serious thing. We don't know how, I don't know. It's an idea. I just want to plant it out there. It could be something. Now, the investors on Zoom. So I talked about like the real estate investors. So how many landlords aren't getting paid this month? A bunch of them. There's a lot of fear and anxiety for the small individual landlord that has like 1, 2, maybe 3 properties. They're worried. And so in a month, in 2 months time, there's going to be a lot of investors that are like, I'm done. This isn't worth the risk for me. And so I would definitely be going to Craigslist and Kijiji, and it would show me a list. So I just did it a couple of days ago. There's like 2,000 rentals of homes for sale in Durham region. I could easily call those landlords and just have the conversation of say, hey, when all this is said and done, I could give you the opportunity of putting the home on the market. And if I bring you a price that you like, awesome. And if you don't have to sell your home, but at least it like casts a larger net. Have you ever considered selling your investment property? I could guaranteed I would have business next month if I just called the Craigslist and Kijiji guys today and gals, right? I could start as a new agent in any city in North America and use that one strategy of calling Craigslist and Kijiji and talking to the landlords and building my database of landlords, and I would rock it. That would be the only business pillar that I would need, and I would be outpacing the other realtors in my market. Now, the whole goal behind like working a database is there's a foundation. First is you should be calling 3 people a day. I like the idea of the micro habit of being consistent over you being like a super overachiever and 10xing your business. I love Grant Cardone and I love the idea of 10xing your business, but we've all seen it where a real estate office will put on like a Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini type of like boot camp. All these agents show up for a week and they're taking selfies of like them being proactive. Fast forward 2 months later, how many of them are still on that same plan? Probably a big fat 0. And so I prefer to see a person have the small habit, but be consistent with it. So if you could call 3 a day, 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 you don't have to time block for that. You don't have to like rearrange your schedule. It's not going to be overwhelming. The thing with calling people, say it was 3 people a day, how long does it take to dial the phone and for them to answer and for you to have a conversation? Let's just say it's 8 minutes per person, 8 to 12 minutes. Well, that's easily a half hour to 45 minutes. Then after you hang up the phone, what are you just done? No, you have to update your database. So that's another 20 minutes collectively between the 3 other people, possibly. So that's an hour of time. So that in itself is a challenge for most people. That's why I like the idea of doing 3 a day, and you start your day with that before you check Facebook, before you open up your email, before you let other people take your time away. I always get that one rock done. That way I'm consistent with it. Now, once I call my 3 people a day, rule number 2 of the foundation is that you have to update your database. So when I'm on the phone with a person, I have my database up on my screen and I can see any holes that are missing. Do I have their email? Do I have their address? And if I'm missing that information, I'll pull it out of them. That way I can update my database, not so that I can spam them, but more so that I can effectively communicate over the long haul. And then the biggest tip of all of this is that person you just called has to have a next call date. So when you're updating your database and you have that conversation with the person, with your own internal gut instinct, when should you call them again? In 6 months, in 3 months, in a year, next week? Set that next call date, because otherwise what happens is you update your database and then you don't talk to them again for a year, 2, 3, and then your database is just a big dirty mess. You forget who half the people are. But if you internally set like what the next call date is for whatever reason, and just keep moving that next call date. So that was my biggest trick with working a database. When I got internet leads, some people would be like a 2-month window. Other people would be a 6-month window. Others would be a year. So say I get an internet lead and I call the people today and the person's like, yeah, follow up with me in about a week. In my database, I'll set the next call date for next week. But then when I call them next week, they're like, oh yeah, COVID-19 hit, so we're not moving. So then I'd be like, oh shit, you're right. Okay, so I'm gonna push that forward for like maybe 2 months. And then I just keep resetting that next call date. So when I call them, I just keep pushing it forward. And it's always like from whatever makes sense to a year. Otherwise, if they're in your database and they don't have a next call date assigned, you're not calling them. So I always just keep pushing that next call date, and it's not automated based on the system telling me what the flow is. It's me based on the conversation I had. And I just keep manually myself choosing when I should call the person next, and I just set that date. If you can just follow that formula, right now is the time that you should be connecting with your database, not about business. I think that's kind of, maybe you have an approach that does work for you. I mean, I shouldn't be telling you what to do and what not to do. However, I do suggest that you should be working on your business and building your database right now, because it's the referral business that you guys need. Because there's a lot of doom and gloom about real estate right now. Like not a lot of people are selling what they used to. Well, here's the thing. There's going to be a tipping point when regardless of the world being on fire, people are going to have to move. Like there's mortgages that are coming up. There's divorces that were already in the process. There's babies that are already scheduled to be delivered. You know what I mean? So the like life is still going to happen for the people in your database, and they have to move. A lot of people are like really holding off this week, last week, the past month, but next month and the month after that, there's going to be a turning point where it's like no choice, they have to move. So it's going to be the realtors who stayed in touch with their database that are going to get those leads. And everybody in your database knows like 3 or 4 realtors or 10, right? So you have to be the one top of mind. And I already know those other 3 or 4 or 10 agents aren't calling them all, because most realtors aren't picking up the phone and picking up the phone and doing what they have to. So ultimately, you need to have a why as to why you're calling the people. First of all, that's what you have to discover. So that's why I like doing something based on like a clothing drive where I can just call the people to give them that opportunity. And then we can just chat about like, hey, how are you? What's going on? Well, it's not really fun, but it's really thoughtful. What if I called my database? And so I call, and like Laura answers the phone. I'd be like, hey, Laura, it's Danny Wood over at ABC Realty. Did I catch you at a good time? And then I stop to let her answer, and she'll say, yeah. And I'm like, okay, perfect. So I'm just calling everybody, reconnecting. I want to see, do you have anybody like your immediate friends and family? Are any of them frontline workers, like Canada Post or nursing or elderly home or anything like that? And the reason I ask is because I want to do something really cool. I'm creating a fund where we're going to like buy them 3 months worth of Netflix or something like that. And I just want to get an idea of how many people I can help out. So do you know anybody I could add to that list that would provide value? And a lot of people in your database have a friend or family that is like a frontline worker. And it's like a really cool touch point, right? And think of it as like a client appreciation event. Like when we did our client appreciation events, say it was a day at the movies where we rented out the whole movie theater. That would on average cost about $4,000. I could cut that number in half to $2,000 and then go through my whole database and find out who are all the families that have a nurse or Canada Post or anything. And like maybe I get 50 replies of like, from my database, there's 50 people that we can help. Well, of that 50 people, take whatever my budget is of $2,000 and do something really cool for them. Like whatever it is. I don't know what it could be. Maybe it could be just gift cards. Yeah, and you could put your thought as to like what would provide value, but I think that would be an awesome touch. And it's not like scabby realtor, hey, you want to know what your house values are because they're dropping? Like it's nothing like that, right? So I don't know, I'm just kind of talking. You guys are all here. Let's get some interaction. We got 23 people. What ideas did you guys get from what I said in that video, or just rambled off now?
I actually love that idea about calling your database and asking who is, you know, a frontline worker and what can be, you know, something small that you can do for them. I think there's a lot of ideas that individually we could probably get with that, but I love it, right? Because even last night I was talking to my niece is a nurse, and I know I'm not that old to have a niece, but that's a whole other story. She's a nurse at the hospital, and she sent me this photo, you know, yesterday, and she's like all, you know, face shield and masked up. And I'm literally just like, what can I do to help her? Right. So, you know, I just send them gift cards so that they can, you know, go shopping and help make that shopping experience a little bit easier for them. But I really, really love that idea. I hadn't heard that yet. I think that's a really awesome touch point for our database right now. Because I think a lot of us are sitting around going, we know we need to call. We also really want to call, but what do we say besides how are you, right? Or how can I help? So yeah. I love that. I love that initiative. I really do.
Nice. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. See, such a fun, and it's a positive touch point. And then it wouldn't be a long script either. It would be like a gateway conversation. And then you could just like segue into like, how are you? What's going on with you? What are you up to? Blah, blah, blah. And then maybe as a plan B, you could also set up like that business networking thing. So like it set it for like 2 weeks from now that you're going to do a Zoom meeting for local businesses, and it's going to be a share and tell of who they are and how they're handling how they're handling the new world, and are they doing deliveries, and are they doing front door drop off, and whatever, and use that as a plan B, because then you'll build and grow your database with those people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that idea too, Dan. You know, we all know business owners, and we all have business owners in our database, and everybody's hurting right now. And I mean, I love networking. This particular season is, you know, hard for me because I like to be out and be social. But I love the idea of like doing that business networking through a Zoom. And then, you know, maybe that even turns into something bigger past this, right? Maybe that turns into you being the hostess for your businesses in your database or in your, you know, community. And you're the one that's helping provide value, like bringing in, you know, like bring somebody like you in, right? Somebody that can like help them, you know, with their internet presence in their business, something like that, right? You can really be the host for that. But also, you know, again, sharing what it is that they're doing, you know, how we can help them out, you know, even in a small way. So those are those are the couple of things that I actually wrote down. I love it.
I started 2 weeks ago an accountability group where we meet at 9 o'clock every morning.
Mm-hmm.
For a half hour. It's quick and dirty. It's nothing fancy. We don't even have to be on camera. In fact, I turn people's cameras off if they turn them on, because I don't want people using them having messy hair as an excuse not to join.
Yeah.
And so every day what we do is we reset what our goals are and be accountable. So I keep a journal of everybody, and okay, yesterday you were supposed to be doing this, this, and this. Did you get it done? No? Okay, this is what you're going to do. And every day we keep like resetting our sail based on the current conditions of the wind and the weather. And that's a metaphor, I don't mean real wind and weather.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so I've been doing that with a group of like 8 people. And what we've accomplished as a group in 2 weeks would blow your mind. Like people are crushing it. And it really helps break the funk, because I was feeling it like for well, I really was for like 2 or 3 weeks. I was like, what's the point? Like, I didn't want to post anything on social media. What's the point? I didn't want to push sales. What's the point? I kept having all these like things, and yeah, so starting that accountability group really shook that complacency and kind of like the ho-hum gloom that I was feeling. And yeah, it really picked things up.
I love that. I was also, you know, feeling that way very much as well. But I love an agent, if, you know, wanted to kind of turn that into your database, you can, you know, even as parents, I know that a lot of people on the call are parents, and you're trying to work and school and parent and all of that. You know, what about a parent accountability group in the morning? Like, all of us need a reset. You know, we're all struggling with this kind of like new norm. How awesome would that be?
Yeah, you could totally do like that business one. Could be one plan B, and the other plan B could be like homeschooling.
Yeah.
And you could just do a roundtable discussion of what are the crafts you're doing, what's this routine, and whatever, and just do like a share and tell and let them.
For sure.
You don't have to come up with the content. Yeah, that's a really good plan B.
Even, you know, like taking 45 minutes out of the day, a week or whatever, and each parent, you know, kind of like putting together a Zoom craft, right? And that's that takes 45 minutes for the kids, like something like that. Because I mean, all of my friends and colleagues, the majority of them are all trying to be a teacher and a mom and a, you know, worker and whatever it might be. And everybody's like, so, you know, like something like that, right? Like that could be a way for you to A, reach out, B, help, also reset yourself and anybody else that you could become, that could become a part of that group. I love it.
Nice. Yeah.
Another thing as well is maybe you had a budget allocated for a client event or something like that. There's a lot of children's entertainers that are like the party princesses, educators, stuff like that, that are willing to host Zoom conferences. So if you wanted to give back to your clients, maybe buying an hour session with them, inviting all your clients to log in and have their kids be entertained just for an hour.
Oh, that is so fun. Yeah. Imagine like, you could even they'd be blown away if you contacted one of those traveling zoos.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't even have to travel. They could just take the camera and go from goat to goat or whatever they got in their backyard. And the kids would love it. And that'd be like awesome social media. And then like the magician making the balloons and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
that idea, right? And honestly,
I see a lot of people in the Facebook groups like posting their rates for doing that. I just thought that would be a good way to kind of even just like for an hour to have some sanity.
Yeah. I think that's brilliant. I think parents would love it, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
they would love the opportunity to have like a hot minute away from their children. And you know, you are giving that to them, which is probably priceless right now.
And it'd be super cheap. Like that person,
Super cheap.
first of all, that magician, goat farmer,
Whoever.
whatever, would probably do it for free. And if they didn't, say it was like $50 or $100 for the hour or whatever.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it would give you super cool content for your social media, just like to take screenshots of it that you could post later.
Yeah.
And then like a video of you talking about it before it happens. Stuff
Love
like that.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Awesome
And
idea.
you can use, you know, the couple of things that Dan was talking about, Keynote and Loom Fusion. Was that it?
Loom.
You like make a video, right? Saying this is what I'm doing. Yeah. Send that out to your database.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Awesome.
that.
Cool. Well, I can hang out. I know we're 5 minutes past and I want to respect people's time. So if any of them want to leave, I appreciate you. And I just want to say thank you now. I do have one thing that I want to bring up to you. If any of you are currently carrying listings, then reach out to me because I have a program that gets you virtual showings done automatically on those listings. So we can take, Google knows who's in the market to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is real estate. So we can drill down to Google knowing who's going to move soon and then target just your area. And then your video for that listing will be prioritized to them as an ad on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't watch 30 seconds or more, there's no cost. So it's like free promotion. And instead of getting like 60 views on your video, you'll get like 1,600 views. And it's targeted to people that are going to be buying a home. Google knows. So Google knows who's buying a home based on last month, who bought a home, and they know who bought a home, and then they backtrack, okay, what did they search? What websites did they go to? What email did they get? Did they get a mortgage pre-approval? Did they go to realtor.ca or Zillow?
Mm-hmm.
And they compile all of that data. And now next month, they can predict based on that, who's next. And that's when all your videos would get there. But it only works for people that are carrying a listing. So if it's you, reach out to me. And
can we put that out to our network, Dan? Do you have anything that you've kind of put together?
I'm going to make a video about it this weekend.
Okay, cool. You'll put it online or send it to me or let me know, or I'll make a note to reach out, and then we can put it out to our team internally. And I think that would be amazing.
Cool. Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. So awesome ideas. Rebecca, thank you for contributing.
Yeah.
That was a really good idea about the interactive and
I love
everything.
it.
So
Love it.
cool. I guess, Jen, I'll let you wrap up. I'm not sure how you do it.
I mean, I appreciate you so much. It's also just really nice to see your face. I thank you so much for giving your time. We're very, very thankful. And again, anybody that is still on the call, you know, reach out to Dan if you have a listing. Reach out to me if you need virtual business help. Yes.
I just messaged my cell number. So if anybody is on the call in the chat, I just put my cell number, and you can just text me right now. You just be like, hey, I was on the call, and then I'll follow up and we'll chat about anything else you wanted to go deeper on if you had questions.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Dan. Appreciate you. Okay,
Yep.
Take care of yourself. Stay safe.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, thanks.